On behalf of the Alumni Association Board of Directors, thank you for being here with us tonight. This is a special recognition ceremony honoring the 2019 great teachers, and as you can see, it's the 58th anniversary of this. Time flies, doesn't it? It's wonderful to see so many family members, student nominators, dean, department chairs, past recipients, and other members of the UK community here with us to celebrate the accomplishments of our UK professors. Tonight, we're pleased that President Eli Capilouto could join us. President Capilouto's vision for the University of Kentucky is to be the university for Kentucky. You can see that commitment across every corner of the campus and the Commonwealth. Under his leadership, UK has gained incredible momentum, which the President credits to pioneering faculty, dedicated staff, and students who come to campus with unbound potential. I've been around him enough that I know he calls that the power of we. Just in the past 2 years, UK has received national recognition efforts to be a diverse and welcoming community. It was also named a great college to work for by the Chronicle of Higher Education. These accolades reflect the core values that distinguish the UK community: fierce resolve and unwavering commitment. Please join me in welcoming President Eli Capilouto.
Thank you, Fritz, for the kind introduction, and thank you for your service and our leadership role for our Alumni Association. And Fritz is not only generous with his time, he and his wife Ellen have been most generous in supporting us in financial ways that enrich our legacy. And I think that his generosity is rooted in the fact that when he came through the University of Kentucky, there were great professors who made a difference in his life, a lasting difference. And that's why we gather here tonight. In a little while, you'll see a video that features each of our honorees. Since, in my position, I know somebody who knows somebody, I got to see them in advance. And it's one of my, sort of makes this one of my more favorite nights, because you'll hear in the tributes from our students why these professors are so special. They put their students first. They exhibit the character that means a lot to the University of Kentucky, that strong resolve but deep sense of humility. They give our students confidence to succeed. It's not just to succeed through the end of the semester, but they're thinking about the life they're going to live and how they can help them succeed in that way. I have the opportunity of telling stories about faculty when I go out to recruit. And last week we were in Louisville, and I stopped at a high school to give a talk. And one of the things I love to tell about is our faculty labor in obscurity in many ways. People don't know the questions we ponder, that we try to answer. Sometimes we can't come up with the answers. There's failure. You're in some ways, you accept that setback and then pick yourself up and try to answer that question again for the greater good. And one story I like to tell is about our two biology faculty who recently completed mapping of the genome of an exotic, nearly extinct salamander that lives in a remote lake near Mexico City. And the reason this is so important is if you think back when we mapped the human genome some 15 years ago, today we're able to genetically edit and cure diseases like sickle cell. At UK, we have a precision medicine unit that can look at the sort of genetic makeup of a tumor and of the individual and pick a therapy that is targeted with less of the difficult side effects. But this salamander is one that holds within its DNA, and your DNA is just really a cookbook full of recipes. It sends signals to your body about what to do at the right time. Well, this salamander has in its cookbook, it can regenerate limbs, it can regenerate a severed spinal cord, it can even regenerate part of the brain. So I like to say 20 years from now, when we further understand this, work at the University of Kentucky could lead to some miraculous cures for individuals. But I've told this story a lot. I always avoid using the name of the salamander because it doesn't roll off my tongue. But after I finished this explanation at the high school, Jay was with me, this young high school student comes up and says, "Are you talking about the axolotl salamander?" See, I can say it now because he said it to me so many times, I figure I got to learn. And he said, "I want to come to the University of Kentucky. That's what I want to study." And that's the beauty of a research university. So these stories you'll hear tonight about our faculty, they believe in our students, they stand behind our students, they give them the confidence, they treat them as colleagues with deep respect. And that's something that's part of our legacy at the University of Kentucky. So I want to thank everyone. And then I noticed when I come to these every year, those previous recipients come back. And that is part of our tradition. It's part of our legacy. So I thank the Alumni Association for marking this time of year by honoring what is most precious to our faculty, that most precious to our campus. That's our faculty. And I thank all of you, families, friends, students who nominated, the people we honor tonight, and those of you who have been honored in the past for being part of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Capilouto. We appreciate those words, and we're certainly thankful for your leadership. Before we begin dinner tonight, I would ask that we observe a moment of silence to reflect and give thanks. Thank you. Now let's enjoy dinner, and we'll resume the rest of the program after we have dinner. Thank you. First, let me introduce our president-elect, is Tanya Phillips from here in Lexington. Well, she's really from Danville, but she's here now. And our treasurer is Hannah Myers, and she lives and is from Madisonville. And now with the Great Teacher Selection Committee and members of the UK Alumni Association Board of Directors that are in attendance tonight, please stand. You just keep standing. That's okay. I'd like to extend a special thanks to Will Nash, the chair of the 2018-2019 Scholarship Great Teacher Award Committee. We really appreciate your energy and efforts spent towards the culmination of tonight's celebration that has allowed the University of Kentucky Alumni Association to make this such a great event. Thank you, Will. Another integral part of the award selection process is the involvement of students. We're glad that the Omicron Delta Kappa has been so involved in the Great Teacher Awards. And we welcome Mitchell Dennis, president of the Omicron Delta Kappa. Thank you for your contribution and sponsorship. Now, please turn your attention to the screen. You're going to get to see what Dr. Capilouto told you about there. And let's enjoy a special video showcasing the importance of the Great Teacher Program. Thank you to the University of Kentucky Public Relations team for their dedication to this project.
He does his own research and he writes his own textbook chapters. Like, but he still makes us, his students, his primary focus.
She's always just present with you and wanting to, hear where you're at, what you're up to.
She has compassion for every single one of her students, hands down.
He is a great father, he's a great teacher, he's a great leader in our department, and he's also just a great person to know.
I wish I could do something more in return. Even this feels like it's not enough.
He's just the epitome of who I think a great teacher should be.
Physical therapy school is very demanding. We ask a lot of them in a 3-year period. They are remarkably dedicated to get to that point.
He wants the best for us as students. He doesn't just lecture us, and if we don't understand it, he tries different ways to teach us. We all hate the quizzes, but he gives us small quizzes, and that helps you learn. It helps you retain information more. So while it's challenging and don't always do well on those quizzes, it makes me keep up with class.
When they leave and they go to practice, and that's all across the country in addition to Kentucky, that they then have an influence from our teaching and from the University of Kentucky wherever they go. So there's this huge cascading effect year after year about the quality of our education here and how it is dispersed in clinical practice across the country.
Dr. Hazel, he's a very humble man. This award, I know he's extremely excited about deep down, but you never see it on the outside. He should be recognized and he should be praised, and he's gonna not like that, but it's so exciting that he gets this opportunity, and I'm glad he can represent the Hazard campus.
When one thinks of that there are only 6 every year, and that this has gone on since 1961, I believe, that's a pretty elite group of educators to be in. This is an honor more than what I could have imagined.
I often like to say that I'm not a faculty member who stands in front of my students. Rather, I'm a faculty member that stands behind my students and helps them create discovery.
Up until the point that I met him, I was struggling, and coming into his class, I really had a breakthrough in my studies where I was understanding the content more, and a lot of that is attributed to him. How much he cared was so obvious, and so I felt like he really deserved that in return, to show that the students that he does this kind of stuff for really means a lot.
This is not just the University of Kentucky, but the University for Kentucky, and my job as a faculty member is to help our alumni and our students, our current students, realize their fullest potential. If you can improve one student's life, that they can challenge and change other people's lives as they move forward as well.
I would just like to say thanks. I mean, everything he's done for me, I wish I could do something more in return. I hope this is a good thanks for him, but if I could, buy him a mansion and a yacht, I think that would be about the best return I could give him.
I'm very happy to be a part of such a dynamic teaching and education force at the University of Kentucky. To say that one of my students nominated me for this is quite impressive, but to realize that there's many more students that have been positively influenced because of the work that I do, I just can't really put that into words.
I really am so fortunate to be able to do something that I love. I'm fortunate in the students that I have. I have fantastic students, so I really get to know them very well because I have them 4 semesters in a row, and see them all the time, throughout the journey of beginning the teacher ed program all the way to graduation and getting jobs. So it's just, I love that. I love that I get to be with them longer.
She is always there for us, and it's not just our cohort. She has multiple cohorts, but you wouldn't know that just in the way that she interacts with us. It's like that we're the only group of students that she has, and she really kind of just makes you feel important.
I have fantastic students I love. I love teaching and I love working with them. I love mentoring them into teaching. It really meant a lot that it came from the students. It's so wonderful of the Alumni Association to do this. I think that we need to celebrate fantastic teachers in our lives and at our university because I think it's the heartbeat of everything that we do.
She's just a very loving, wonderful, warm person, and just couldn't think of anybody better really to share this experience with, me graduating, and it's been nothing but a pleasure to have her in my corner for the past 3 years. So and I would just like to say thank you to Dr. Rentema and just everything that she's done for me to help me to get to where I am at this point in my college career and moving forward into my professional career.
To me, it's not about lecturing, it's not about imparting knowledge. It's really about taking advantage of an opportunity to look at the impact that we can have on the world and looking at young minds who want to go do that and then working with them to figure out how best to prepare them.
He is great with his students. He pushes them, he encourages them.
And it's great to have the kind of interaction with students that, I'm Mel, I'm not Professor Coffee, and they know that.
He has so much compassion for people, but then again in class and in critiques and grading, that doesn't necessarily show all the time. He's very, very strong in his grading. His critiques, he'll tell you how it is, and he takes the time to get to know his students in order to provide criticism the right way.
And so when they walk across the stage, it's not the completion of something to me. It's, okay, you're on your way. Let's see what happens, whether it's going into the field that I'm teaching or something else, seeing how they're able to take 4 years of a college education and make a difference somehow. And that's probably the most rewarding part of teaching, I think, when something happens that you may have either been responsible for or not, and yet they can attribute that to the time spent in your classroom or in your office or at lunch or wherever you had a conversation about something important.
I don't think my college experience would have been anywhere near as gratifying without him. And so I just want to say thank you for supporting me, thank you for being there for me, thank you for providing leadership and mentorship outside the classroom, inside the classroom. I can't replace it, I can't thank him enough for it.
Teaching is fun, and never thought I would be a teacher at the graduate level ever, but I just appreciate the opportunity to teach new and inspiring researchers each and every day.
He goes beyond what we can learn from the textbook, and he sees your strengths and he makes sure that you meet your goals, whatever it is, and I think that's what makes him a great teacher.
It was just really just a very sweet, very thoughtful, recognition that, while all this time and effort that I put into, teaching and prepping and answering student questions, that I love, I have a passion for it, just meant like, wow, people notice it, not just me and my wife, my kids.
Dr. Toland finds a way to, especially with such a hard field such as statistics and psychometrics, finds a way to make you feel like you are not the dumbest person in the room. And in an environment where it can be so intense and there could be so much pressure for you to show that you're successful every time, he allows you to be vulnerable, he allows you to make mistakes, and he really allows you to grow in that way. I'd like to tell him thanks for the time that he spent. Not every advisor would spend numerous hours a week making sure that their students are not only on track academically, but that they feel like they belong, that they feel like they have a place in our department, and that their goals are just a few steps ahead of them. So thanks for that.
The teaching recognitions and awards make me reflect on my journey. So I came to the country about 20 years ago. This has been my home. I love this profession, I love the students, I love what I can do for them, but I think more importantly, I learn from the students.
Dr. Liu really just puts so much effort and energy into helping students, and honestly at the end of the day, all that she receives back is just the satisfaction of knowing that she was there to offer support and guidance. And so I think that's pretty incredible, just how generous she is with her limited time and with her energy. And so I think that makes her an amazing, amazing teacher who deserves to be recognized.
I have so many moments that the students come in to me excitedly telling me that they got this internship, they got that job, they got this scholarship, they're going to graduate school. So those moments were precious to me. I have a great family, but the students are my second family, so to speak. They inspired me to work hard. Students, they're energetic, so they gave me energy.
She's always just present with you and wanting to hear where you're at, what you're up to. It has been really meaningful, checking in with her and talking to her and hearing her say, you are so capable and I believe in you, really. And so I'm really grateful for that, and I know that I'll always remember the help that she gave me, and I hope that I can be a similar example. So thank you, Dr. Liu.
January in the New York Times, David Brooks, that is an op-ed columnist every Friday in the New York Times, his column was about his experience as a visiting professor at some little college in the Northeast, Yale, and his experience with that, and how even in that capacity, as he got related to the students, what a difference that made to him and to their learning experience. The piece is called "People Learn from People They Love," and it's a wonderful, wonderful piece, and I encourage you to try to find that and read it, because it's really excellent. And I think what we've seen up here is truly an exhibit of that type of thinking, if you will. So it's not in the script. I brought that up on my own. So now to announce our recipients of the 2019 Great Teacher Awards, I call on Tim Walsh, Associate VP for Alumni Engagement and Executive Director of the UK Alumni Association. Tim?
Thank you, Fritz, and I echo President Capilouto's remarks in thanking you for your leadership of the Alumni Association. It really is inspiring to me to think that the Great Teacher Award was established by the Alumni Association 58 years ago. The award's longevity is a testament to its worthwhile goal of recognizing the achievement of great teaching and stewardship of young adults. This award is special because all nominations are made by UK students, the ones who have the most to gain by excellent teaching. It is the longest continuing award highlighting teaching at UK. In its 58-year history, 296 awards have been given, with numerous teachers receiving the award multiple times. All recipients are listed in your program, and we're pleased to have some of our previous recipients with us tonight, and I ask you to stand so that we might recognize you. Thank you for continuing to support this program. The process for naming this year's great teachers began last fall when nomination forms were distributed across campus and put on the Alumni Association's website. We owe a great deal of gratitude to the campus partners who helped make this program successful. We thank our students who took the time to submit nominations. Without them, this program would not be what it is. The process, done right, is time-consuming. All professors who were nominated should take a great deal of pride in knowing that their students took considerable time and effort in putting their names in nomination. I ask all student nominators who are with us to please stand. These people can be trusted to keep a secret. The process to select the 6 people we're honoring tonight is always a challenge. Each nomination contained impressive accomplishments and evidence of the positive influence our professors have on our students. Each committee member rated and ranked each of the teachers, and the results were tallied, producing our final list of this year's great teachers. It's now my pleasure to announce the 2019 great teachers. In addition to tonight's recognition, each recipient will receive a $3,000 stipend, except for Dr. Lujan, who will receive a mansion and a yacht. Mel Coffey is in his 11th year teaching broadcast journalism in the College of Communication and Information School of Journalism and Media. He spent 16 years in news before teaching and worked on air as a reporter and anchor. He spent years producing and in management in multiple markets, including Dallas, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Denver. He continues to supplement his teaching with professional experience, including as a writer at CNN and WABC-TV in New York, reporting at KSBW-TV in California, and with multiple television and radio media outlets in Zambia, once as a Fulbright Scholar and twice as a Fulbright Specialist. He also traveled 14 times to Zambia and Botswana, where he and colleagues held training sessions specifically on the reporting of HIV/AIDS, resulting in measurable improvements in journalism at radio stations, newspaper, and television. He spends most of his time in class and one-on-one with students as he helps them become industry leaders to protect journalism's high standards and missions, as doing so protects and preserves the core of democracy in our country. He received his bachelor's degree in radio, television, film from Northwestern University and his master's in journalism from the Northwestern University Medill School of Journalism. Please congratulate 2019 great teacher Mel Coffey.
And so we are broadcasters and we do know how to be brief. No speech, nothing prepared. But I want to thank Brady as my voice cracks. Twice in front of my colleagues I've cried in my 11 years here. And this is one of those nights. Brady and I have known each other since 2014, not because he can't graduate in 4 years, but because I met Brady as a Governor Scholar in Moorhead when I taught at Governor Scholars that summer. A difficult kid. Sent me home in the evenings thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do with this one for 8 hours tomorrow? And defied his father's wishes that he go to the University of Tennessee, where his father went and where they all were supposed to go, and said, I want to study at the University of Kentucky because, and there was a list of reasons. And his dad looked at me, which was the biggest threat that I've ever had in my life, and said, Brady will do what he wants to do, but you'd better take care of him. And Brady has taken care of me in these 4 years. We have challenged each other, we have pushed each other, we have yelled at each other, and we have had lunches and celebrated the fact that we don't know enough, and we are here to push ourselves and to know more and do more. And I am so proud of him from Hopkinsville who was afraid to go to London to study with Dr. Barnes, and he did it, and who was afraid to go to New York, CBS News, and do an internship there, and you did it, and who, as we sit here tonight, I know has 3 job offers, and we are not even close to graduation, and they are not the best offers you will get. Thank you for being an insistent and honorable person and a great student. And I just want to quickly go around this table because this is my Kentucky family. When people found out that I had turned down a job at American University to come here and leaving Dallas, they said, "What in the world is wrong with you?" I didn't know. But I came here, and Dr. Barnes and I, Beth Barnes and I, my Zambian princess, had worked together in Syracuse, and I listened to her, and I met the students, and I thought, I belong here. And when I described it to people who didn't know anything about it, I said, I've never been there, but it's like you're going home. There was something about being here that felt like I was coming home. And thank you for bringing me here, for being a great mentor since 2000, and for our Associate Director, Scooby Ryan, who left me at the airport and said, just give us a chance. And who every day for 11 years has always come by my office, my classroom, or my lab and said, I'm just checking on you. Are you okay? Only 1 week did she not do that, and that was the week that she had to go back home for her mother's funeral. The dedication that you have shown me has given me all I need to know that I need to do better. And to our interim director, Mike Farrell, who is the first person who made me cry among my colleagues, which started out as a simple story. You know, and Dr. Capilouto, I want to thank you because your vision and your leadership through such challenging times has guided us to a place that we are now and we are heading. And Mike was able to listen to me that day and say, Mel, and then we started sinking down the wall and ended up sitting on the floor and talking for about 15 minutes when neither one of us had time, just to reinvigorate that thing we need every now and then when things get tough. And you have always been there for me before you were interim director, and you are a reason I continue to do what I do. And to my friend, Sean and Cynthia Grimes, who, one of the weird things about me that I'm not proud of, but I own it, is that I've only been here 11 years, and I have lived in 10 places in 11 years. And I've been in my last place for 4.5 years, and Sean and Cynthia Grimes are the ones who came to my house and turned my little diamond in the rough into a gem that made me know that every day, no matter what I'm going through, I have another home in Kentucky, and they are as much my family as anyone ever has been, and I thank you. And for my partner, Paul, of 20 years, who has always said yes when I said, I won't be home until 10 o'clock tonight. I'm sorry we can't do anything together this weekend. I've got to meet with students. And who at Thanksgiving would say, are all your students going somewhere for Thanksgiving? Invite them here. He has, since I started teaching, been so supportive and so given me a license and a freedom to do what we both know is so important. And that is passing on what we do and what we know to the people who will lead our world years and centuries from now. So thank you all for that. I don't know what a great teacher is, but I know that I would not be standing here tonight were it not for the people at this table here, so thank you.
Our next recipient is Charles Hazel. Chuck is an associate professor in the College of Health Sciences Division of Physical Therapy. He began teaching physical therapy laboratory instructional sessions in 1996 while a full-time clinician. In 2003, he received a full-time appointment while working toward a terminal degree. His area of instruction includes evaluation and treatment of patients with musculoskeletal disorders, with particular focus on assisting students in developing clinical reasoning toward success in practice with the inclusion of manual therapy and diagnostic imaging. His instructional duties are at the Center of Excellence in Rural Health in Hazard and also on the Lexington campus. And I will say, if you have not been to our campus in Hazard, you need to visit. It is a hidden gem of our university. He also has joint appointments and provided instruction at other institutions in the United States and Australia. He has treated patients, presented or taught in Ecuador, Brazil, Kenya, and Australia. He has co-authored 2 textbooks on imaging in clinical practice and serves as president of the Imaging Special Interest Group for the American Physical Therapy Association. He has a bachelor's degree from Indiana State University and also a bachelor's degree and advanced clinical master's degree from UK in physical therapy. He completed his doctoral degree in UK in rehabilitation sciences. Please congratulate 2019 great teacher, Charles Hazel.
If you ask any of my students about what I can speak about, they would tell you that in terms of topics with teaching, presentations, research, that I can go on for quite a long time. And if you pay attention to course evaluations, maybe a little too long on occasion. But this is a very different kind of situation, and I really am at a loss for words. The easy place to start is to start with thanking people. And I have to start with thanking the Alumni Association, because as a faculty member, we can be pulled a lot of different directions, and that can distract us from our principal duties in teaching. That the Alumni Association particularly recognizes the art and science of teaching is particularly noteworthy. So I really want to thank the Alumni Association, Tim. I also have to start with thanking my parents. Both of whom had opportunities for higher education, but neither of which could seize those opportunities because of their individual family circumstances at the time. I also want to thank my wife, Christy, for tolerating my long hours and supporting me whenever she knew that I was interacting with students. I want to thank the students who are represented here tonight by Erin Marshall and Brianna Shondell. We do ask a lot of our students. They are in pursuit of a doctoral degree, a clinical doctoral degree, and we want them to succeed in clinical practice. And so we do ask a lot of them. I am quite frankly surprised that they had the time and energy to put together a nomination in the fall of last year when I thought I was asking all of them that I possibly could. This degree of individual recognition is really more than just a little bit uncomfortable, because I work with a lot of great teachers. Our physical therapy education program is ranked in the top 10% nationally on a regular basis, and in some rankings at the very elite level. That does not happen without the input of a lot of great teachers, many great teachers cooperating in that effort, working together. That also is largely responsible, is responsible by the actions of the administrators. And I would like to, at this point, to recognize Dean Scott Lephart, who is not available tonight, Janice Cooperstein, who is the Chair of Department of Rehab Sciences, Tony English, who is our Program Director in Physical Therapy, and Fran Feltner, who is the Director of Center of Excellence in Rural Health and Hazard. All of those people have been very supportive of our program and the reason why our program succeeds in producing great students. When Tim Walsh interrupted my class a few weeks ago, and I realized I was going to have to stand up here and say something, I struggled with trying to find something appropriate to say. And just recently I saw a documentary on the life and the career of C.M. Newton, who, if you know of C.M. Newton here at the University of Kentucky, he leaves a very long legacy. He was a member of Adolph Rupp's 1951 National Championship team. And before he even graduated from the university, he was head coach at Transylvania, just down the street. He then went on to become the head coach of Alabama, wherein he was integral in integrating SEC sports. He then went on to become the head coach at Vanderbilt University and later became the athletics director here at the university at a very critical time in the university's history. And while I certainly cannot compare any of my accomplishments to what C.M. Newton did, his perspective on the accolades that he got was something that I very much identified with. He described that he was uncomfortable in getting praise for his efforts, that he merely saw that what he did was he was at the right place at the right time to do what should be done. Nothing more, nothing less. And perhaps that's what's happened. I've been fortunate enough to be at the right place at the right time to do what should be done. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you.
Wendy Liu is the Director of Undergraduate Studies for the Gatton College of Business and Economics, Department of Finance and Quantitative Methods. She is a senior lecturer, holds the Marguerite Pelissier Teaching Fellowship, and has taught both graduate and undergraduate level finance courses. Currently, she teaches the introductory corporate finance course that sees annual enrollments approaching 1,000 students. Since joining UK in 2014, she has won a number of teaching awards, including the 2018 UK Outstanding Faculty Teaching Award and the 2018 Gatton College Teaching Excellence Award. She also received the statewide Teachers Who Make a Difference recognition each year since 2015. She was previously nominated for the Ken Friedman Outstanding Faculty Advisor Award, the Great Teacher Award, and the Inspirational Women of Gatton Award. She serves as faculty advisor to the Finance Society, the primary finance student organization. In 2018, the Finance Society was named the 2018 Student Organization of the Year by the Gatton College. She earned her MBA degree from Wake Forest University and a PhD in finance from Indiana University. Please congratulate 2019 Great Teacher, Wendy Liu.
Thank you everyone for being here. I'm deeply honored for the recognition. Congratulations to all the current and past winners. Your hard work and talent make UK a special place. I'm very thankful for President Capilouto and Dr. Capilouto for being here despite your busy schedules. I appreciate the tremendous work by the UK Alumni Association and everyone involved in putting together this event. Thank you for the great learning opportunity as I hear my distinguished colleagues sharing their stories and success tips. The UK Great Teacher Award is the longest continuous teaching award at the university and is based on student nominations. One can only win the award once every 10 years, making it truly special. The celebration provides a rare occasion for me to slow down. I race through a typical day, texting and emailing on my phone while walking between classes and meetings without slowing down or tripping. Not yet. So today, among family, friends, students, and colleagues, I realized this is a good time for me to reflect and to improve. About 20 years ago, I chose finance as my field of study because I love the subject matter. I chose higher ed as my profession, pursued a PhD in finance because I enjoy learning and helping people. I face challenges every day. I try to improve every day. Never did I imagine I would be winning teaching awards for doing what I love, helping the students to learn finance and to develop successful careers. Finance is the study of how to allocate scarce resources over time while facing risk. Many people think finance is just about making money. It goes well beyond making money. Finance knowledge helps people to make informed decisions in their lives and at work. To learn finance well, one needs to develop critical thinking skills. The best way for students to learn finance is to apply their classroom knowledge in practice. That is one reason why career development is so crucial. When I meet students who share my passion in finance, no matter what their majors are, I do my best to help them to perfect their knowledge and ability to apply it. I help them to prepare for their careers. In July 2014, I joined the University of Kentucky. I had taught about 2,000 undergraduate and graduate students before then. I have taught and mentored at least 5,000 students in 4.5 years. It has been a whirlwind journey. After meeting outstanding students at UK, I started seeking out alumni and friends of university to mentor the students and to create internships and job opportunities for the students. I connect younger students with more experienced students to establish peer-to-peer network, and students, my colleagues, friends, and alumni of UK all pitched in. In the past few years, scores of UK alumni met, networked with, and mentored current students, as well as recent graduates. Increasing number of finance employment opportunities have come to UK students. Hundreds of students in various majors obtained good internships and jobs in finance, pursued professional training and certifications at UK, and succeeded in professional competitions. We have a supportive community. That is the hallmark of the University of Kentucky. We have this supportive community to help the students to learn, network, and succeed. It is growing, and we're creating a brand name. Someone once said that a happy life is a collection of happy moments. I'm fortunate to have so many happy moments when the students tell me about their successes. Every day, I think of the wonderful students I have met and thank my lucky stars that their paths cross mine. Every day, I enjoy the energy and beauty of the campus. Every day, I ponder additional projects to undertake, new knowledge and skills to obtain, and improvements to make. Every day I'm grateful for the advice, help, and support from my friends, colleagues, and staff. Every day I'm grateful for our generous alumni and friends such as Bill Seal and Marguerite Palissier, whose generous support made it possible to create scholarships and opportunities for our students. They're hardworking and talented students. Every day I'm thankful for my husband, wonderful husband Dave, whose wisdom, compassion, and hard work inspire me to do more and be better. Thank you all very much for your hard work, help, and support. Your impact is more than you know. My appreciation goes beyond words. Thank you so much.
Our next recipient is Gregory Lujan. Gregory is the John Russell Groves Endowed Professor of Architecture in the UK College of Design and an affiliate professor with the Lewis Honors College and the College of Engineering Center for Visualization and Virtual Environments. He is a full professor and holds a university research fellowship, a professorship, in recognition of his outstanding research achievements. As a nationally recognized architect, scholar, author, professor, and academic leader, his work investigates how design, emerging digital technologies, critical theory, pedagogy, practice, and academic industry partnerships intersect. He has been with UK since 1998 and teaches digital studios and seminars on design theory, systems thinking, and design computing in the School of Architecture and the Department of Historic Preservation. Some of his projects include the U.S. Department of Energy's 2009 Solar Decathlon, known as the S.KY Blue Solar House, the Houseboats to Energy-Efficient Residences prototypes, and the Resonance House, the first Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design certified house in Kentucky, and an exemplary project in architecture from Virginia Tech, Master of Architecture from Princeton, and his doctorate at Texas A&M. Please congratulate 2019 great teacher, Gregory Lujan.
Howdy. That was for you, Dave. I appreciate that. It's a very Texas A&M thing to say.
First of all, I'd like to start off by apologizing to Thomas's parents. You may know that in December, my mother was in the hospital and I needed to be with her. And I was getting these frantic phone calls from my chair and from Bruce Swetnam. Jeffrey Johnson and Bruce Swetnam were constantly texting me, "You have to show up, you have to show up." And I was like, dude, I'm at the hospital. There's nothing, I'm not leaving my mom's bed. And later, I was in a faculty meeting, eating by far the driest sandwich I've ever had in my life. And lights come on, people come in. I mean, it was amazing. And I look out of the corner of my eye, and there's Thomas. And I'm mid-swallow, and I looked like I was choking. And then I realized that I was supposed to be celebrating, and I didn't have a chance to do that. And then I realized afterwards that Thomas's parents had come to the ceremony in December at our end-of-the-year showcase and our toast for graduating seniors. And I didn't get a chance to celebrate with them, so I apologize for that. But I'm really happy to notice that I'm going to get a yacht and a mansion, so I'm really excited. But in the words of Dr. Capilouto, there's probably 200 architects for that same house and yacht, so maybe I just need the raw materials. But I'd like to thank the Alumni Association. This is an amazing award, especially when you get a chance to work with so many fantastic students. I've been here for 21 years. I've educated over 2,000 students. I teach both in the College of Design and in the Lewis Honors College. And I do get the best and the brightest of all those worlds. And I have a chance to not only positively impact their world, but to make a difference in their lives. Thomas is kind of an interesting student for me. I'm sure that you've all been in a room where the student gets it and the light turns on and you get this joyous celebration. And I get to witness that on a daily basis. Thomas was one that always, the light would go on and it would go back off again. And it would go on and it would go back off. And the only thing I could think of is just maybe better batteries, something, you know. You know, I work in solar energy. We can invent something. And then there was this moment where Thomas decided to go on a tangent. We were designing houses for Johnson County. There was tremendous floods that had come in, and we were called in to help to rebuild their community. And Thomas had this idea of this plug-and-play system. We do a lot of work with modular construction, and he didn't really know how to investigate the project. And he gave me an amazing opportunity to work with him for a very long time to start to tease out some of these solutions. And then finally it clicked. And that was a moment where I just remember thinking that most of our lives are sending students off in these small little speedboats to do reconnaissance missions and then bring it back to the mothership and then to talk about it and to celebrate these experiences. And Thomas was doing that on a daily basis, and it was quite amazing. And he presented the work in Johnson County, and they loved it. And it was a really amazing opportunity to really celebrate his success and get it. And then I catch him a year later, and he wanted to do an independent study. But he didn't really know what to do, and he needed a faculty leader. And he came back to me and said, "You created such a difference in my life with this one studio. Is there a way that we can take this plug and play into another step?" And we ended up presenting it in Rome last year, and it was quite amazing. So now to see him now as a soon-to-be graduate, as I heard from Jeffrey Johnson, maybe not. There's one more class that he has to finish, but he's leaving to go to California. He's been working in Lexington for one of the premier justice firms in the country, and he has a chance to work in their California office. So I'm very humbled by connecting those dots with Thomas and watching the light goes on. I have to admit, though, that I'm only one part of a very large educational ecosystem. I get students at these very discrete moments in their careers where sometimes they know what they want to do, and at other times they're really lost. And so I really owe it to my faculty colleagues who help to create those bridges between those moments where I get them very early in their careers and at their midpoint in their careers, because without them, the students are really lost. And I think that there's a great humbling opportunity that we have to celebrate not only myself in this great teacher award because I was recognized, but also my faculty colleagues. It is without any hesitation that I would not be here career without the mentoring that I had. University of Kentucky was the only place that I interviewed that didn't tell me what they wanted me to do and how they wanted me to do it. And I saw that to align with passion and purpose to really create an opportunity for myself. And I had the opportunity to go back to graduate school and do my PhD at Texas A&M after being a full professor. Is quite heartening as you're a little bit older than your colleagues. But I want to end with just one note. I want to thank all the people that have served as mentors for my entire life. My wife, April, the first woman in the state of Kentucky to be elevated to fellow in the American Institute of Architects. I would not be able to do this without her. My mother, who is now out of the hospital, is with us celebrating tonight. My daughter, Miller, who is a better golfer than I am, so we're not going to talk about that. And my dean, Mitzi Vernon, and my director, Jeffrey Johnson, and my colleague, Bruce Swetnam, who without their continuing guidance and mentorship and prodding makes me who I am today. I also want to thank someone who for the last 20 years has been not only an amazing colleague and mentor to me, but David Biaggi. He is in my heart, my soul, and my spirit, and I wish him nothing but the best as he moves forward with the challenges that faces him and his family in the upcoming months. So, David, I love you. You're the best. Thank you.
Our next honoree is Margaret Rentema. Margaret is an associate professor in the College of Education, Department of Curriculum and Instruction. She joined the UK College of Education in 2006 as a research faculty member at the Collaborative Center for Literacy Development. In 2012, she became the program chair for the Middle Level Teacher Education Program. She began her career as a science and language arts middle school teacher in Georgia, and today teaches undergraduate and graduate courses in adolescent development, middle level philosophy, classroom management and discipline, and literacy. Her research focuses on middle-level teacher preparation and licensure and adolescent literacy. She also serves as the faculty advisor for the Bluegrass Collegiate Middle Level Student Association and is the director of the Bluegrass Writing Project. She's been recognized twice as a teacher who made a difference, and in 2018, she received the Ken Friedman Outstanding Faculty Advisor Award. She holds a bachelor's degree from Emory University and a master's degree in education from UK. She earned her doctoral degree from UK with an emphasis on mentoring beginning teachers and the Kentucky Teacher Internship Program. Please congratulate 2019 great teacher, Margaret Rentema.
Hello, it's good to see everybody. I also want to extend congratulations to the other award recipients tonight. It really is incredible to hear of all of the different kinds of work that goes on at UK. I don't always get to hear all of my colleagues' work from across the university, and it's fascinating and inspiring. I also want to say thank you to the UK Alumni Association. I think it's amazing that you recognize teaching at the university. As you may know, teaching is my passion. Mentoring students into the teaching profession is my calling. So I'm deeply honored to receive this recognition and just very grateful. I began my career, as you heard, as a middle school teacher. When I entered the path into middle school, I had a lot of people say, middle school, really? And I would tell you, and they would say, isn't that the worst? And I would say, I submit to you that they are the best. Middle schoolers are fun and funny. They're at a place in their life where they're trying on different personalities from day to day, sometimes minute to minute. And I want people teaching this age group that truly appreciate them and enjoy them and are excited to be a part of their lives and make a difference. I talk with my teacher candidates all the time about developing relationships with their students, listening to them, learning about who they are, and genuinely caring about them and their future. With that, I hope to carry those same philosophies into my own teaching. I'm fortunate to work with my UK students for several semesters in a row. I get to know them very well. I love them. They're the best. And I hope that I'm helping mentor them into becoming the very best teachers that they can be. There is no doubt along the way that I learn more from them than they learn from me. I'm quite sure. I'm very fortunate in the College of Education to work with exceptional students and exceptional colleagues. I do want to extend a special thank you to my colleagues who are here tonight. So Lisa Amick is a professor in the STEM education department and is here tonight, and she also teaches in the middle school teacher ed program. She's a fantastic colleague. Jared Stallings is here. He's my department chair. He's been a cheerleader for the program. Rosetta Sandage is a dear friend, colleague, mentor, whom I have known for 25 years, and she is an inspiration to me. She's the current interim dean of our college. I want to shine a light on my fantastic students. So Colin is here tonight. He is an outstanding educator. He is going to be certified for middle school math and social studies, and in fact has already accepted a job out of state. Unfortunately, we'll miss him when he goes, but he's going to rock the world. So we are so excited about all of our candidates. I particularly want to say thank you to my wonderful husband. He supports me in everything I do. My husband, Michael, who's sitting over there. He is my biggest cheerleader. He is more excited about everything I'm doing even than I am. He's fantastic. And then I have two wonderful daughters, Catherine and Elizabeth. My oldest daughter is a UK student. She is studying abroad this semester and couldn't be here. My younger daughter, Elizabeth, is here, and she is a senior in high school right now, and UK is on the list. She hasn't fully committed, but she has been accepted. So we'll see where she ends up. But it's just been a great journey, and so thank you to everyone.
Our final recipient tonight is Michael Toland, a faculty member in the College of Education, Department of Educational, School, and Counseling Psychology. This marks his 11th year at UK. He primarily teaches graduate-level courses in statistics, measurement, and research design. He brings his passion into the classroom and enjoys the challenge of inspiring interest in topics that are typically merely endured by students. He makes it his personal goal to help students not only become interested, but engrossed and energized to learn this commonly challenging material. His research is focused on applying his skills in quantitative and psychometric methods with colleagues in a variety of disciplines to address educational and psychological problems. He is also a Provost Faculty Fellow within the Office of Student and Academic Life, where he is involved in several projects, including one focused on assessing students' sense of belonging, well-being, and roommate satisfaction within the residence halls, and how they relate to students' academic performance. He holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire and a master's degree from the University of Nebraska. He earned his PhD in quantitative, qualitative, and psychometric methods, also from the University of Nebraska in 2008. Please congratulate 2019 great teacher, Michael Toland.
That's a really hard act to follow right there. We have 6 of us together, right? Recognized as great teachers. And we stand on the shoulders of other great teachers that have been awarded this Great Teacher Award. I mean, that's just phenomenal, the things that are offered here at the University of Kentucky through the UK Alumni Association. I'm going to tell you little stories, or a few stories, that there's so many stories you can tell when you're a teacher. And the ones that I love are those when students are just honest and sincere. I had a student the other day come up to me, And she had, a couple tears, and she was really shaking. And she just goes, Dr. Tolan, I just want to tell you something. When I was in your item response theory course, as the only African-American woman in your course, you made me feel like I belonged. You reduced my anxiety. You helped me learn. It's moments like that that I love. I love being a teacher. I love the moments that I have just to share what I didn't think I was ever going to learn. I'm the youngest of 6 kids, first generation. Mom, 8th grade level. Dad, GED. Sisters never went on. Brother, that's a long story, but long lost brother. But they encouraged me, my mom and dad, to go to college, get that degree. And then I had teachers that encouraged me along the way, great teachers. They believed in me. Why me? I don't know. Oftentimes, teachers, students, we all have that, that sort of syndrome of, I feel like a phony. I'm not really a teacher. But this award, it makes me feel like, wow, I think maybe I am a great teacher, and it's being recognized and noticed. I do want to give recognition to my students that nominated me. Sai-Hong Lee, who just finished her PhD in quantitative and psychometric methods. John Eric Lingett, who's a current doctoral student in educational psychology. John, thank you so much. And also Abby Love, who can't be here right now, in Australia, who chats with us every week during the Applied Psychometric Strategies Lab via Zoom. It's fantastic. All 3 of them, they're just amazing students. John is amazing because on doctoral interview day, I think it was, 3 or 4 years ago now, John? Memory's probably escaping me, but it doesn't matter. We met in my office one-on-one, as he does with all the other faculty members. And he said, I am scared of statistics. I hope you're going to help me learn it. John, I think we are doing it together. You help me learn how to be a better teacher each and every time we go out there and have those meetings, coffee, lunch, or whatever it is. Sahang, it's been a joy seeing you blossom into the blossom into the researcher you are now, here working now at the University of Kentucky for the Center for Violence Against Women. I have to thank my wife, Leah. She puts up with me with my long hours on my phone, walking just like other alumni here do. Hopefully not running into anything, right? My 4 children, Rylan, Annabelle, Hayden, and Cullen, thank you guys for being so patient with me. Yeah, he steals the show, doesn't he? And my mother-in-law, thank you for coming tonight. And my neighbors, John and Michelle Williams, thank you. Listening to all those wonderful stories as fellow teachers. And to my chair, Kenneth Tyler, thank you. You rock, buddy. I'm going to end this way tonight, okay, by saying that my mom passed away about 18 years ago now. And so this month is a little sentimental to me. She used to say to me when I was out on the playground playing, and I didn't want to eat, and she would say, Michael, you must eat, but in a very thick German accent. So I'm going to leave this to you all. You all must teach. Thank you.
Well, let's have another round of applause for all 6. If you aren't inspired after tonight, you don't get inspired, let me tell you. In closing, we're going to close up right now. We got other things to do, and we want the great teachers, their family, friends, and student nominators can come up here. We'll take pictures, and then we'll be taking the great teachers over to the arena floor. We have to get there before the game because we're not suiting up for the game. So that'll work. So thank you very much for being here tonight. It's a great event.